All right, hang on. You're on.
Okay.
Good morning, students. We are introducing our lovely head librarian at Northwest, Laura Ambriz. She is back specifically to talk to us today about resources for your media analysis paper. Remember, you're going to be picking a film or video game from the approved list that's attached to the assignment, and hopefully you've already thought about that because that assignment's coming due soon if you're watching this video. And it's really helpful to have that in mind as we're going through the resources that Miss Ambriz is going to be talking about. So that way you can follow along with her as she's entering sample searches and other things, and you can use your pick for the paper. So without further ado, Ms. Ambriz.
Thank you, thank you. Okay, so just a little reminder that the website here for the libraries, you go to epcc.edu/services/libraries, and that we have online assistance. You can email me or call me at any time. The information will be in the LibGuide, but you also have this online assistance available where you click Get Connected, and the librarians are there available from Monday through Sunday, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. to 9:30 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can also email the general email and they'll answer on those times. And this number, it happens to be my telephone number. So I'm also available all those times on that number. So you can either call me or email me and I'll be happy to assist you. Then we have the main search engine, which is the EBSCO Discovery Service to do some basic searches, but we'll come back to that. But then below here, we have the library research guides. And you can just type Dr. Smocker's last name and search. And then it'll take you to your class LibGuide where you have all your film list. Do you call them film list or how do you call those?
Yeah, I think a media list because since we've started incorporating video games and a concept album or two.
Okay, so you have your media list for your courses, and then below that you also have your assignment, the film paper assignment. I thought we had updated this one.
Yeah, so look at Blackboard for your detailed assignment, including deadline and point value. But if you kind of want a general refresher, or if you're having trouble accessing Blackboard, you can look at some of these assignments because the directions are the same, regardless of what class you're in.
I think you only send me the media analysis, but if you send me this, we'll update it. By the time they see this, it'll be there. Okay, so once you select one of the media list, do you want to say something about selecting their film or their video game?
Yeah, so the list is broken down to you in a couple different ways. The first organization is by time period. So that way, if there's a particular period of time we're covering in the class that you're really interested in, and you want to see what options, you can look there. The other thing you'll notice is that under each film title, we have a list of topics. So these are keywords that can help you in your search when you're looking for resources, or if you're picking a film that you've never seen before, maybe on in a topic of war, or a film that's like a biography of a real person, or a film focused on the West. So you can kind of get an idea, even if you've never seen the film before, what some of the general big themes are by looking at this list. And do remember, this is the list that you'll be writing off of for your assignment. Off list. There's a reason the list exists, and that's because all of these media have been vetted already as being relevant to our class and our time period. So Ms. Ambriz is showing the list for 1301, but again, the same applies to any of the other classes. Look at the list that's relevant to your class, because part of the assignment, right, is analyzing how good of a tool is it to teach history. And if you're looking at the list that doesn't match your class, you're gonna have a real hard time matching that.
Okay. And then once you select your film, I have another handout that it's called here, the search strategy worksheet. That will be really helpful. Before you start searching for any information about your film, make sure that you have seen the film. That would be very helpful, because that way you can find information that is relevant to your film or the topic that you're going to be analyzing. So write your search topic or question, could be even the title of your film, could be one of those key terms that Dr. Smacher has already provided to you under the film title, and then you can start breaking down into key concepts. Context, time period can also be keywords. So if it's 1930, 1950, whatever that is, that could be also part of your keywords, and then you can break down into that. Also, key persons from those time periods can be also keywords to search for. And below that, it's an option if you want to do the databases to keep track of where have you been searching. And this is a fillable form, so you can just start typing there and save it on your computer. You can download it or print it if you want to. Okay, so this will be very helpful to have a search strategy and a defined topic. Again, I always do the analogy when you go order food, you need to see the menu, you need to see what's available in order to request something. Otherwise, you're gonna see, just give me something. If I give you a pizza or a hot dog, it doesn't matter because you didn't even know what you order. The same goes when you're searching for information. If you're gonna ask the system for just any keyword and you don't know what you're looking for, the results are not gonna be relevant to you. You're not gonna be able, you're gonna be like, I don't find anything, or this is not working. You need to understand your film, your topic, to do better searches, okay? That's a big recommendation there. Then we also have some websites that had been pre-selected and approved by your instructor, Dr. Smacher, that you can search one by one if you want to, or there's a Google custom search. And my favorite movie to do this, Casablanca. I should change that one now. And then,
that's it's a classic one. I think you should keep it.
And is your Boolean operator. It has to be all in uppercase. And then you're going to do a parenthesis, which is also a Boolean operator, movie or an uppercase, film. And if your title has more than one word, I would recommend that you put quotes on it. Okay, this one, it's just one word. I'm not going to put in, but if it's more than one word, put quotation marks at the beginning and end of your title. Once you click search, the first item before the line are advertisement from Google, so just ignore those. And then below the line, those are more accurate and relevant to your topic. And you can just click on it and it'll take you to those pre-selected websites, the information that has been curated for you and that are relevant to your class and your topics. Okay. We've covered before how to cite our Noodle tools, but if you have any questions, again, can they still see the previous video?
Yes, they can. It's posted on their class website.
Okay. Or you're not, again, feel free to reach out to me and I'll be happy to help you. And then here's all the information. Noodle Tools doesn't really have a copy paste for websites. Once you open a website that you like that you're going to be citing, you will have to do the citation manually. You would have to copy the URL. So before you move too fast and close it, make sure you keep it open so that you can get all the information that you need, the author, the title, the URL, look for the publication date and all the information that you need from that website. Okay. Going back to the LibGuide, you can close this frame and then just go back. Then we also have the articles and databases. I have different things here. The best starting point for your film to have some information about it is a Credo reference. So I'm just going to do Casablanca here. And I'm going to do the exact same search and the movie or film. Those Boolean operators will work across the databases or Google Scholar, any search engine, whatever you see a search box, more than likely they're going to work. And did I tap something wrong? Or why is it not working? Okay, I'm going to try with that. Let's see. That is odd. There's a lot in it. Okay, this is a mind map Is that accurate or it doesn't look accurate?
Yes, it is accurate. So what's great about the mind map is that you can see topics that are related. Now, obviously, if you've already looked into the film a little bit, that will help you better analyze how accurate the mind map is. So you'll see in the mind map is pulling out actors in the film like Ingrid Bergman, Humphrey Bogart, Peter Lorre, but it's also pulling out related films like, for example, The Maltese Falcon, which also star Humphrey Bogart as the character Sam Spade. So you can kind of see like it's interpreting that most people who look up Casablanca will probably be primarily interested in the actor Humphrey Bogart, and so that's why it's pulling up those things. So that's one of the reasons why, like Miss Ambriz said, you really need to make sure that you've watched the film before you look at it, so that way you can kind of determine what's going to be a helpful link on that web and what's going to take you off on a tangent that's not related.
Correct. And then another keyword that I usually use with this is propaganda. If you like need to know more about it and what has been a timeline for propaganda, this will give you a definition. It's an encyclopedia, but it is also works as a dictionary or definitions to give you other related terms. So in order for me to understand that, I can see this and find additional keywords like deception, like I don't know, age of enlightenment. I can see other terms that can work for my research that work for the film. Okay, and this one, your citation, it's on the top. You can export it to Noodle Tools, but you need to have your Noodle Tools project open prior to exporting. I feel like I'm losing my voice. So funny. Okay, so that's a Credo. That's a good starting point. We also have Google Scholar that can take you off to the web, and I'm gonna do the same. I need to go back and check why the Boolean didn't work on Credo. It should work. It has worked before. And this one, anything that you see on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, even though it has a link, it's not going to be full text available. Only those that have the link on the right-hand side, like this one, JSTOR, are the ones that have the full text link. If you say, if it says book, you can see a preview of the book. Sometimes it might be good enough for what you're doing. If you click on it, it'll give you a few pages, enough to get a citation and understand a topic, and it'll highlight the terms for you that you're looking for.
Can you walk them through, Laura Lee, how to tell the Google search engine to indicate what sources are at EPCC when you look at Google Scholar?
We don't have that feature. We used to have that. We're working on it. As of actually, we had a conversation yesterday reactivating it because we added more databases and we changed stuff and it went away, but we're gonna reactivate it. Right now, it doesn't have it. Yeah.
Okay, so for right now, if you're wondering whether maybe EPCC has one of these, if it's really helpful, you can go back into the library catalog and databases and look for it there.
Correct. And I can show you them how to do a reverse lookup too by the journal title, which is easier sometimes. Okay, so these are the articles. Another thing below this, you have citation tools. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. You have citation tools. These, sometimes you need to double check, and I'm gonna share the handout again where you can double check your citations, because since there's multiple sources where you can get it from, MLA requires a URL, but since this is giving you 3 versions where you can get it, you have to manually come back and add that one yourself. APA, Chicago, depending on what you're using. So if you see here all 6 versions, all 3 versions, it'll give you different links to access that resource where it's available. That's why it's not providing you a link. Another thing that I want to point out here is cited by. This means that this book has been cited on 12 different publications, not just by any people that I came here, click and cited. Formal publications, whether a journal, a magazine, or a book that has been cited. I always recommend looking at cited by and related articles, because if you like that article, chances are you're going to like those related ones that are more relevant again to your topic. Once you find one that you really like, article or book preview, make sure that you go cited by or related articles. Okay. And here it's like a lot of information, 2,000 titles, and they all look relevant to me just by glancing at it, just by adding the movie or film. And again, if you click on the right-hand side, then you can get the full text article in there. It'll give you the complete article. Okay.
And just as a reminder, if you are doing this search for a more recent film or a video game, you may not get a whole lot of hits on Google Scholar when you're doing that particular search. That's part of the reason why it's really helpful to understand the context of your film. So if you try to do this search for your film or video game and you come up blank on like Google Scholar or a scholarly database on the library website, then try instead looking for something related to the film or video game. So like, for example, if you're looking at the Assassin's Creed game that's set during the American Revolution, right? You're probably not going to find a whole lot of scholarly articles on Assassin's Creed. So in that case, maybe you look for the topic American Revolution or a particular historical figure, and then you'll get more hits on the academic side. And the sort of pre-selected websites that Ms. Ambriz already showed you are really great for if you're looking for a more recent film or video game that doesn't have as much existing scholarly work already in the system as an older film like Casablanca.
Correct. Okay, and then we have the history databases. This will be very good to do your analysis and see what the Hollywood film, I would call it, it's portraying versus the real facts. So this will be very good for you. We have historical newspapers back to 1851. And then we have different other sources. The ones that I'm going to recommend best is going to be the History Study Center. You can pretty much find anything on this one for any film on those keywords. Once you click on it, it's going to ask you to authenticate. So it's the same credentials that you use to sign on to your email or Blackboard. I changed my password last night, sorry. Okay. If you get this screen when using Google Chrome, click on Advanced and then Proceed. Okay, so again, you can find pretty much anything related. I'm going to do the Casablanca propaganda on this one. Let's see. You would get a historical document, reference, publications, journals, a lot of different articles, and they're all full text. Let's see if this will be related. Is that a tiny print for you?
I can see it and it looks like it is.
It is. The film is also relevant because it shows that a very good film can keep blah, 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 blah. So it is related to the film.
Yeah, I can only see like the left-hand search. I can't see the PDF that it pulled up.
Oh, you can't?
Mm-mm. It's just showing us blank on the right side of the screen.
Interesting. How about now?
Now I can see it.
Right here. All right. Yeah. And I didn't even use the film or movie keyword on this one. I just used Casablanca and propaganda, and it did pull that up. Okay. Let me change the screen again. Okay, so this is a really good one. You also have your citation tools in here. You can email to yourself, print it. So let's go back to the article databases. Another one that I really like if you're more of a visual learner, it's the Avon videos. Did I not have it here for you?
Oh, it's there.
Oh, yes, okay. So if you're more of a visual learner, there's also a lot of reviews in here and stuff. So Casablanca. Sometimes this database can be a little slow. There you go. So I can see this one is related. The first one is. This one is related. So once you select one of the videos that you want to watch, you also have a transcript here that you can copy paste to do your citation, and you have your citation tools. And just select the citation that you're using, whether it's APA, MLA, or Chicago. And then this can also be exported to Noodle Tools once you have your project open. So these are also very interesting, the videos here. Okay, the other one that I'm going to show you is JSTOR. This one you can, that is available through Scholar too. I think it's best to come here for the full text.
Yeah, JSTOR has a lot of history journals. So if you're, and some of the journals that they have actually go back in time quite a bit. So like for something like Casablanca, for example, which was made in 1942, like you might actually be able to find a reference to it from that was published in the 1940s by looking at JSTOR.
Let's see if I can. Oldest. Let's see what's the oldest that they're putting here. And more than likely, if it's prior to, since you said it was.
Yes, 1912 is the oldest one, so it's not going to be related.
It's not going to be related. So again, context, dates, all of that matters. So this one, I think it would be. Might be.
It's related to the idea of Hollywood and war, but it doesn't look like it's directly related to Casablanca.
Okay.
But yeah, as you can see, some of these are like 1943. So this would be related to the general topic of like Hollywood and wartime propaganda, but not specifically to Casablanca, it looks like.
This one does.
This one does, yes.
Okay. So you would, again, you would need to understand a lot of what the movie's about, who the actors, who the producer, everything, to be able to discern whether it's relevant or not. Okay, so I think I've covered the main ones. Those are the ones that I would recommend for your assignment. Again, if you're not finding stuff, American historical newspapers will have movie reviews too. This is a new one that we just got, and it goes all the way back to 1600. So that's a really good one. The citation and writing styles, again, we already covered the Noodle Tools. This is how you would access it. And then the handout. I thought I had the handout with yours. Let's see. I think we have it on the main one. It's right here. Citation styles. So this is the one that compares, and we're in the process of updating this one for APA 7th edition now. It hasn't changed much on your citations. It's more on the format of the paper and the in-text citation. That's why I'm not too worried if you use this one, but be mindful that this is APA 6th edition, not 7th edition. The MLA, it's current, the Chicago is current, but the APA, we're in the process of updating. But again, it's not going to affect you much because the citations didn't really change. It's more that they changed the formatting of the paper and the, do you have a preference what they use?
Not really. I would say if you are one of my rare history majors, start getting comfortable with Chicago because that's the standard for the field, especially as you start getting up into like junior and senior level history courses. But otherwise, I really don't care.
Okay, but as far as the APA 6 or 7, doesn't matter either?
No.
Okay.
As long as you pick one citation style and don't try to hop around.
That's good. Okay. So that's also available there on your LibGuide. I think we've covered everything. I don't know if there's anything else. I don't want to cover the film-related books because that's available only on print, which I'm in the process. I found most of them as ebooks, so they will be replaced hopefully soon. I already ordered them, so I found almost all of them. I think it was just two. I can't remember which ones, but there was two that we couldn't find. So as soon as we get them, I'm going to be updating this to the ebooks where they can click to the full text.
Awesome. Yeah. So in a normal semester, these would be available for you on reserve at the Northwest Library. And you would ask for textbooks on reserve by going to the circulation desk and saying, hey, I'm in Dr. Esmacher's history class. There's this book that's on reserve for her class. Can I see it? And the reserve books are library use only. With the ebooks, once those are available, you said that those can be read up to 3 readers at a time?
Some have 3 readers, some are unlimited. Most of them we're getting them unlimited.
Okay. So the idea with an ebook is when you're reading it, right? Like that's kind of like you physically taking a book off the shelf. So some of them are limited, so only so many people can have them open at a time.
Okay, I think I know we've covered the really quick again reminder, EBSCO Discovery Service will go ahead and search any of the databases. And then you can also get the newspapers, all of that from here. So I think this is still relevant and you can see those ebooks in here.
And you can restrict on the left-hand side, right, and say only show me ebooks.
You can limit it to the ebooks or magazines or academic journals. So if you're interested just on the ebooks, you can click there. And you can see the dates. It went up from 1920s to 1960 to 2020. So more than likely, most of those will be relevant. Once you have another keyword, like I was using propaganda, I can say and propaganda, since that's going to be kind of like the focus of my paper. Then I can add it, and it goes down to less items, but then I can see those are more relevant. And just by looking at the titles, I think they are.
Definitely number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4 and 5, for sure.
Once you open one of those ebooks, you can also search within. You can browse through the table of contents to see there is something interesting. I always do, because sometimes, even though I'm inclined for a topic, then you start looking in the table of contents and browsing and you find other terms. But if you have decided, then Casablanca, and it'll take you to the exact pages where the film is mentioned.
Yeah, that's pretty relevant, kind of talking a little bit about how the film can be received by different audiences.
And again, sometimes by reading these, you might decide to change your topic as you're reading and finding other topics within. Okay, so that would be your ebook. Again, you can save the pages, email, print, or do your citation. And there are other great ebooks right there. I found 159 related to my topic. Okay. Anything else you want me to cover, Melissa?
No, I think that that's really good job of kind of covering all the resources that would be specifically helpful for them in doing their media analysis paper. Remember, if you have any questions about the media analysis paper, please ask Ms. Ambriz or myself. We are more than happy to assist you in your research and your writing process. One of the things that she mentioned with the film reviews is that is a requirement for your media analysis, right? That you at least mention one review of the film. So for older films, that historical database is really great. For more recent films, so like let's say you chose a film like Harriet, a biopic about Harriet Tubman that came out last year, you can still use those same Boolean search operators that Ms. Ambriz showed you in a general Google search. So be aware that all of the tips and tricks she showed you with the capitalized Boolean operators, those work just as well in your full-fledged Google search. So especially if you have more recent media, or especially if you have a video game that you're looking at, which we don't have as much sort of formal journal published articles about yet, you'll have better luck using those same search operating terms on a general Google search.
Let's see what that would be. Will bring. So that's a 2019 film, so that this wouldn't be. So
yeah. So That's going to be the problem if you're looking at a more recent film or video game. So that's one of the reasons why utilize some of the other areas of the LibGuide that Ms. Ambriz has showed you, or do a general Google search, or search for historical context. So because this one isn't really pulling up stuff specifically about the film Harriet itself, that's when you start going into things like search for Harriet Tubman, who the film is about, or Underground Railroad, or American Civil War, right? That's when you start using your history specific keywords to search.
Right here?
Yes. So that's an example of a film review, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a news.
So yeah, so that would be a film review.
Okay, so that's when your limits over here, your filters limit to comes very handy, because I limited to 2019. Obviously, it was going back to 1943. That couldn't be the case. So we know that's published in 2019. So again, location, context, year, all of those things are relevant to filter and find your relevant resources. Okay, anything else? No?
No, that's good. You are free to pick whatever from the list. There is no restrictions that you can't write on the same thing as your classmates. So in theory, I could read like 30 papers all in the same film or video game if you guys so chose. But there is a lot of great variety on all of the lists. So please look at something that's interesting to you, whether it's an old favorite that you're going to revisit or a new topic. And again, Miss Ambriz and I are here if you have questions or need help. Thank you so much for doing this, Lorley.
Thank you. And again, in the LibGuide is my contact info, or here through the Teams, you can send me a chat message. Thank you.